before I hit the confirm button, I'm just gonna wait to see the thing pop up. Oh, don't be that way. Hey, OBS. Oh, that's right. This shows the title screen on the bottom screen. That's why I was confused for a second there. Okay, that's fine. And... well, I'll be damned. I actually spelled all of that correctly without seeing it. I'm not sure how to feel about that. But you know what? I'll take it as a victory. There we go. Yeah, this is Valkyrie Profile Covenant of the Plume. This is another one I spent a decent bit of time with when I was younger. Never finished it. Because if I thought the last one would take a while, boy would this take longer. But this one is special. In a good way. As before, I will be skipping plot, which is a shame because I remember this being decent as far as that goes. But, sake of brevity, we kind of need to zoom along a little bit here. Discord, why are you going crazy now? Stop it. This might be one I actually have to flip the screens for. Because I don't remember which screen combat takes place on. But for the second, I'll flip them. Or attempt to while it decides to be disagreeable. There we go. Why is the top screen not showing? It's fine. It's literally blank right now, so you're not missing anything. But this way you can see the character designs and the text better. So, I had already said I was skipping dialogue, so I don't know why I was letting that dialogue happen. Okay, yeah, I was remembering right that the bottom screen is where all the action takes place. I think you see like stats and such on the top screen. And why is the top screen not showing up though? That's bothering me. Give me a second, I'm gonna argue with it. So I dislike that it's not showing it. Oh no, I know what I did. I fucked up. Okay, well that's fine. There's just not gonna be a top screen for this for the moment. Yes! Well, sort of. There's a bit more to it than that, but it is a tactics game. As you can see, all your usual buttons are here. There's a neat thing that happens when you fight an enemy, though. You actually have input when your characters are attacking. And
in my father's name,
everyone that is adjacent to an enemy will attack together. There's a whole, like, hit count system and everything like that for your attacks as well. Now, be wary, because the enemy can take advantage of that as well. And from what I remember of this game, the enemy takes advantage of that to brutal effect, if you ain't careful. And they will eviscerate a character who's out overextended.
guard my back, Will.
But you'll notice Will there has 3 attacks, whereas the other character only has 2. If you do it right, you can combo their attacks together and get the best results you can. and the enemy will choose who they wish to retaliate against out of those who are in range. So you gotta be kind of careful about that one too. And you'll notice, though, that they all got their attacks back each time. So I walk you over here, and all three of them will be able to attack this direwolf together, because their attacks reset every time.
Let's keep our heads about us.
So we can just bully the hell out of this direwolf. And another fun thing, now that we've filled that meter, special attacks.
Your maker. Finishing strike. Sonic burst.
Oh, and actually, thinking about it, you can't actually see how many attacks they have, because that's on the top screen, which isn't able to show right now.
You seek, then death you'll have.
Yeah, everyone that has a special ability can use it when that meter's full. It doesn't need multiple fills. You can just do horrible things to whatever is in reach. It is very dead, and overkilling is actually an important mechanic in this game. The more you overkill something, the more value you get out of killing it. So you want to actually aim for the most overkill you can. You just hang out because there's no direwolf for you to beat up, is the only other ones out of range. Now, the good news is, just as they can counterattack us, we get a counterattack on them with our full set of attacks. Nope. That's a game mechanic. We gotta overkill the hell out of things. You got in position here. So I think he's out of range of the other thing. Ignore this. Just don't pay attention to that right now. We'll go ahead and heal just to be on the safe side, because everything's been trying to kill him because he's the main character. Take note of the fact that the gentleman with the spear can actually attack even though he's further away. Because thanks to spear range, he can actually reach even when he's that far over. That's also going to be important to keep an eye out for.
Time to meet your maker. Finishing strike. Sonic burst.
Now, the downside to these fancy special attacks is it does make combat take longer. Because if you want to get the most overkill you can, you kind of want to wait out all of those. I mean, the soul doesn't need to be there for us to keep hitting the body. But it sure is an interesting thought you got there.
War will empty the soul.
Oh, there is, and it's gonna be bad. Like, they are super dangerous, if I remember right. Because, for better or worse, this game does kind of aim for being kind of like the gritty, not quite real, but real with supernatural happening type deal. So it's very easy for people to die. Rude. Oh yeah, that's a thing that can happen, by the way, and I believe it's primarily on back attacks that you'll get stunned and you can't actually retaliate. That is good advice. There's no point in hanging on to healing items if you're gonna die. Yeah, I don't think Change Arms does anything right now, but yeah, because we don't have any other weapons. Yeah, I think there is a way to automate that, but you like get only their average rather than the actual result of their abilities. And like obviously we could skip bits like that where I just kill him straight out instead of
For an eternity of rest.
worrying about getting the maximum result. But if you want to maximize your payoff, you kind of need to go the long way. Which can be unfortunate because it takes a while. All at times. Now, we do want to be kind of careful approaching this thing, because it is a lot stronger than the other ones. Yeah, go ahead and hit it. So I don't think he kills it straight out. Yeah, no, he just hurts it a bit. Which is fine. And you may have noticed that they mapped all the face buttons. I recall being limited as to how many characters can join a fight by virtue of how many buttons you can have. So I think only 4 can stack in, even if more could technically be in range. Ow. I thought I was out of range of this thing. Turns out I was wrong. So that could be bad. But the good news is we can get behind it. And thanks to the big sword over there, he can get in range as well, because he's adjacent diagonally. And it's looking like we're not going to get our 4th character involved at all. He's just not going to get a chance to do anything. Which is fine, because he's not going to stay with us from what I remember. Him and the Spearman just kind of go about their own business.
Not quite what I had in mind.
If death you seek, then death you'll have.
Just keep chaining.
Finishing strike.
There we go.
Grand thrust.
You let that thing stick around for a bit and you can actually have some rather serious problems. Overkilling on this stage though doesn't matter anyway, because I just realized that meter's not actually filling. Because how the overkill meter actually works is it starts refilling the enemy's health bar down there to show how much you overflow it. So yeah, we did the thing, and we're just gonna move right along from that. We get our pay and plot moves along. Somewhere along the line, main character boy starts dying. Because I think something wasn't actually dead that they thought was dead, and then it struck him down. Basically, at the end of the day, as you might guess from the name, a contract is made. And now he gets to live, but there is a cost. It's a pretty hefty cost from what I remember, too. But that's all plot elements we're not really going to get into here because of time constraints. But I do highly recommend looking into this game. You've just got a long sword, which that's how you determine how many attacks you get, by the way, is what weapon you're using. Obviously, not everybody can use every weapon, and they get different attacks they can use, too. We actually want to move double cross up here. Is these two pair together better, if I remember right, than the uppercut does. Yours is already fine. Take note of the fact that Will here doesn't have a special. It's unfortunate, but that's just what that is right now. And unless I sit here and rejig everything, I can't get the top screen back. But all you see up there is their name and some statistics. Nothing too major. Oh, actually, yeah, the number of attacks on the weapons are also up there, so you aren't seeing that information either. But again, it's not vitally important that y'all see that at the moment, so I'm not gonna worry too much over that. Our goal is to just press onward. I think we just go back in here because I think there's more plot that needs to happen, and then we actually go do stuff. Because we're just working here as mercenaries right now. Yeah, these are the swords that these two are already using. Yeah, you can get lore at the tavern, but we don't have any reason to care about that at the moment. We need to just go into the garrison and get our marching orders. We also get paid. What I think is happening right now is I think the keep's being attacked by more monsters, I think it is. Something like that. Yeah, it's just more monsters. The downside to skipping all the text is having no idea what's going on, but it's fine. Oh yeah, this is also a thing, is if you actually fight smart, like flanking and things like that, you will get benefits to your attack gauge and things like that. So it's very important that you actually pay attention to your positioning. Like, this is a super positioning-centric game. No idea where he gets that other sword from, by the way, that he pulls out for the double attack there. But you'll notice that is significantly more effective than his other attack was being. Between that and him gaining a single level, he's actually a force to be reckoned with suddenly. And that glow you just saw indicates that we actually have positioning. And they're not kidding when they say increased plunder, by the way. You will actually get a good amount more loot, usually, that way.
For you.
You know, until you get better positioning options. Because there's actually, like, a bunch of special positions like that you can do. Yeah, there's no such thing as an unfair fight. Or, I should say, there's no such thing as a fair fight. And only fools seek fair fights. There we go. I wanted to take a look around the field a little bit. Okay, it's just these remaining three then. Okay. You can't reach him, but you can reach this one. We're not gonna be able to get a good flanking position on him, but we'll be able to at least double team him.
To battle!
Oh, yes. Well, correction. There's a trick to that, and we'll get into that here soon. There's a twist.
Nothing like battle this. I could go for more of that.
His characters can definitely die. I just don't entirely remember what the catch is to that, because there is a catch. But I think as soon as we're done with the prologue here, which shouldn't be much longer, it'll explain itself as far as that goes. As you may have noticed, we still don't even have actual overkill yet either, because the game hasn't fully opened its mechanics to us yet. It's still teaching. Which is the admittedly most unfortunate part about covering a game like this, especially for a sampler, is there's a long-winded intro, even without all the plot. Which, let me tell you, if we were going through all of that plot, we would still be reading it right now. We'd still be reading the first set of plot, I think.
To battle!
Because it very much has the Square situation of, we like to hear ourselves talk.
For you, Father.
And boy do they. The writing is good, it can definitely outstay its welcome in places, from what I remember, in that they talk for a little long. So you have to kind of be ready and into that for it to work for you. Oh yeah, he picked up crystals. You can sometimes get those where you'll actually get attacks back as you're attacking an enemy and get to keep hitting them.
Works up an appetite.
Yet another advantage to hitting an enemy from behind, for example, because you have a higher chance of getting those. Because I think they are purely chance-based. I don't think you can, like, guarantee getting them. This doesn't seem like a good situation to be in. I'll let this roll a bit because this is actually important. Kind of, yeah. And yeah, that's who he made a covenant with. Yeah. Seems like a great deal to make overall when you're dying. But it does come with some very nice benefits. And we'll be getting into those here soon. In fact, I think we're gonna get to see one of the benefits now. Because remember, Will didn't have a special move until, well, now. Exactly. Magic feather. Now here's the funny thing though. This has a cost.
Feather over the battlefield. Unto me thy power yield.
Take note of his
I
statistics.
can feel it.
Take note of the... Oh no, you can't see them. I keep forgetting the top screen's still borking. But he went from having, oh, say 100 or so attack to 770. The Plume is incredibly powerful. But there is a very important but to that we'll get into when it happens.
Guard my back, Will.
But yeah, he is very much a force to be reckoned with temporarily.
All this fighting works up an appetite.
Oh yeah, that's a neat thing about this game, by the way, is you don't even have to participate in a fight to gain levels. It is like shared experience, which is nice. I think he's out of reach. You'll see soon what the problem is. Yeah, you know what, just let this play out. Yeah, because you can't reach him either. So we just need to let him come to us for a moment here. Because he was smart enough to sit out of reach. There we go. Now he's signed himself up for death. We can actually get a real good thing going here.
To battle!
You'll notice he still does no damage to these things. Which is why we're kind of forced into a position where we have to use the plume for demonstration purposes.
Nothing like battle to start the blood flowing.
There we go, get the attack gauge increase. Didn't quite get the meter filled, but that's fine. He is very dead. But I wanted that for the boosted plunder. Get as much as I can out of him. So yeah, we win the fight. It was real easy. Exactly. Yeah, there's a problem. Now, you might have noticed, he took no damage or anything during that. So you might be wondering, why is he dying? That's the cost. Whoever the plume is used on dies. Like, that's just how it goes. If I remember right, you can actually avoid using the plume there, but I think plot-wise, Ansel dies anyway, if I remember correctly. The thing is, winning that fight without the plume is incredibly difficult. So yeah, in exchange for power, he killed his best friend. Basically. Now, admittedly, the argument can be made that it was necessary power. Basically, yeah. And it's not insanely difficult, it is very hard. Because I remember trying my damnedest when I was playing not to use the plume. But I do feel that there are certain situations in the game where it forces you to use it. And this is one of them. And now guilt. Because he did kill him. He didn't directly kill him, but he did kill him. So now his life path has tipped drastically. And since this is the plot scene that sets up the entire reason anything else that happens, this is why I'm letting this scene play. Because it's both mechanical benefit and context. So yeah, now we have a magic assistant as well. And his whole thing is he wants vengeance on the Valkyries. And there it is. You unlock an ally's full potential and guarantee their death. But there's the advantage, is Will can actually learn abilities from those that are used that way. So they're not totally lost, they're just, like, physically lost. It's a whole thing, which is what makes this game kind of fascinating to me, is there's a lot going on with this game. You know, in some cases I think that might actually happen. I don't remember entirely, but I feel like that does happen at some point. That's a fair point too. But enough plot. Progress must happen. As you can see, they negotiated and now they're working together. Yeah, and this is when they explain overkill. Yeah. And as you can see there, it's actually required to cause the overkill. You either need to fulfill a certain amount of sin by overkilling, or you have to invoke the Plume to satisfy hell. It's not required to play the game, but you get benefits for doing so and consequences if you don't. So it's a whole thing. In this case, we need to reach 50. Yeah, this is also a thing. Any guest characters and such you have, you cannot use the Plume on. They have to actually be your friends. Which just makes it all the harder a knife twist to use it. Which is kind of fucked up. But this is the ability we gained by sacrificing Ansel, is we can now double Will's stats at need and have taunt, basically. Which is actually super useful. For now, just stab a man in the face.
In my father's name.
Oh, yeah.
I have you.
I mean, they make the point pretty well. It's meaningless to sacrifice somebody you don't know. Because at that point, you're just a standard commander at that point. Throwing people away at need. To betray your friends and kill them, that's a much harsher price.
Oh, don't make this difficult. Dead in my sight.
Now you'll see that purple meter there. That's how much sin we get for overkilling him. And that'll start filling up that feather that was on the screen. Yeah, we already got 39 just out of one guy there. So 50 is easy to reach. Oh yeah, the feather is on the top screen though, so you're not seeing that at the moment.
Firestorm.
Oh yeah, did I mention that magic hurts a lot? His magic hurts a lot. similar to how archery is dangerous, mages are incredibly dangerous, and they need to die miserably and fast, or they will destroy everything you hold dear. Yeah.
In my father's
I'm
name.
going to refrain from commenting on that.
Firestorm.
Ow. I'm gonna need to heal soon. This is gonna get bad. But I was opting for eliminating the mage first. Is with the mage gone, we have less to worry about as far as health goes.
Oh, don't make this difficult.
So I'm pretty sure Will can handle getting hit by that swordsman if he does manage to reach. There we go. That's more than enough sin to satisfy hell. But by overflowing with sin, I think we do get more rewards based on how much sin we generate anyway. It's almost always a good idea just to horrifically slaughter your enemies in this game. So I believe there's separate plot paths based on whether you actually fulfill the requirements or not. I believe there's actually like separate endings depending on whether you use the plume, whether you follow the sin rule, or any of that, as you might imagine.
I started blasting. Bang! Bang! Well, I don't see so good, so I missed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and we leveled up, so I don't need to heal. Perfect. Now note the fact that since she's next to the opponent, she doesn't actually get to attack him, because archers don't hit things that are next to them. Even though it's a crossbow that she's been shooting with one hand, you'd think she'd be able to just put a bolt right through his forehead, but, you know. Video games. We may as well show off Vali's Awakening. There we go, all of his stats are now doubled. This guy's about to have a really bad day. Exactly.
Let's get this over with.
There we go, Axis Raid. Notice how much more damage was dealt to him straight away there. He was just obliterated by virtue of the doubled stats.
What did you expect?
Oh good, we got a new sword. And now all that's left is their archer who did not understand what was happening and didn't move. You may as well come around this way. I don't remember if the wall there blocks line of sight or not. But it doesn't matter because Vali's Awakening means she has to target him anyway. Which is exactly what I want. Because thanks to the doubled stats, they do basically no damage to him anyway. And she's just walked herself right where I wanted her. Real shame. Real shame.
To battle.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the doubling wore off when my turn started. So we can't just obliterate it like we did on the last turn. But it's fine. Because now, we do it again!
Let's get this over with.
And you can avoid doing somebody's full attack, I seem to recall, because if you wait long enough, I think time runs out.
I'm not ready to die.
So you could set enemies up with like 2 hit points left and then start somebody else's attack to get as much overkill as possible.
Father.
But not going out of my way to get that. We've doubled the requirement, and thus we get all these things. Basically, short version is Sherifa here is being chased by that whole group of soldiers there, and there's a lot more, and that's what sets up the next sequence of events that's about to happen, where things get kind of bad, and by kind of bad I mean very bad. The Viking sword is more damage and still 2 attacks, so yep, taking that. Do we find anything else usable? No. Inventory. This is very nice though, because you can find technique tomes that teach characters new abilities. In this case, first aid, which randomly restores half of the hit points lost from enemy attack. We want him to know that. Oh yeah, and you can also boost people's max HP by 100 with the Ambrosia. Go ahead and boost his hit points with that. We can't actually use it on Sherifa right now because she's still a guest, and you can't boost the stats of guests. So we'll go ahead and just put another 100 on him, leaving him with nearly 600 hit points compared to where he was before. You also get neat things like these flare gems that you can throw fire with. Better healing items. Basically, what I'm trying to say is sinning is super worth it. Just bear in mind that, you know, there's gonna be long-term consequences to what you're doing there. It's the classic double-edged sword. We'll see how much of this fight I can get through before time runs out. Because I remember this being a fairly significant fight coming up here. Oh no, it's not here. It's soon, but not here. So we actually have a chance to buy things first. Not that we need anything here. You can't see what I'm giving them the look about, but it's saying she's ineligible to use a crossbow. And I think it might just be because you can't buy stuff for guests. But it's just, I have to give them a look about that one. Basically, yeah, that's the trade you're making, is would you rather kill your enemies in horrific ways, or would you rather kill your friends? Yeah, we can get at taunt or remove threat as tomes. Like, it's a whole thing. It's a whole vicious, nasty thing. And it's played fairly well. Yep, still just lore here. Yep, proceed to battle at Kirsch Crossing. This might still not even be the battle I'm remembering, though. Oh, no. No, this isn't the battle I remembered, but this is a battle. That's kinda rough. Is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 warriors. Bloxwell was a wizard and an archer on either end. I could rush in and engage, but you'll notice that that archer immediately gets an exclamation point on her, that she'll be able to reach. So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna hold back and just go straight into Valley's Awakening to bait them into attacking him, and just fire over him to bait that guy into coming to us.
Oh, don't.
I might have wanted to look at her attacks, because I think she does have a better shot than the multi-shot for building meter. No, but I did have him stand too close to her, so she can't actually... Oh, wait, no. I don't think she gets involved in counterattacks anyway. I think it's only one being attacked that counters. Which is fine, because he basically overkilled him straight away anyway. Which was basically the plan. Yeah, because they'll still move up and shoot. But with Valley's Awakening active, he shouldn't even really take any real damage. The only reason his health bar looks as bad as it is because his max hit points doubled. So it looks like he's at half health. And you might be thinking, wow, Valley's Awakening is kinda busted. That's because it is, but unless you spend items, it's basically a once per battle move, because it takes almost all of his AP to use it. So it's balanced in that regard. And you might think it's kind of silly to blow your load on that right out the gate. And it kind of was poorly thought out to a certain degree for me there. Because I thought I was going to be able to reach something this turn, and I can't. So that's a bit of an issue. But it should last until his next turn. So he has that protection still. So if I can bait them into attacking him, I think we can still counter kill a bit here. Yeah, and she can reach to fight the archer, so she may as well just go for it. The archer will counter, I think, because they have similar ranges. But it'll still get some damage clocked out. And as you can see, there's a decent quality difference between her and the regular enemy archers. Oh no, it's 2 against 1. Whatever will I do? Oh right, not take much damage and just slaughter the poor boy that attacked him. There we go. Didn't get any overkill on that, but it gets rid of another enemy.
The battle is won.
And she's just standing over there like, the fuck just happened? Why is that guy gone already? Yeah, now the 2 archers pincer attack him, which is fine. He still has his stat boost. And this isn't the only tactics game I've got lined up for today. There's there's technically 2 that I have in the pool. We'll see which ones actually get played. I'm not going to be able to get to everything I pulled, because I think I have like 12 games in the folder for today. And this is game 2, and we're already 2 hours in, so you know. I figure you can do your own math and figure that one out just fine. And why that's not gonna work.
In my father's name.
Oh yeah, they can dodge, by the way. We can too. But usually they have much better luck with it as usual.
Let the games begin. I'm not ready. That's the end of that.
Also, since we're probably not gonna see character death, I'll just explain what I was talking about based on what I remember as far as the catch to character death goes. And you probably saw the fact that we have that Union Plume item.
Yay!
For one, you can revive people, but I think it's the typical, if they don't get revived before the fight's over, they don't, you know, they don't get retained. And obviously the Plume is a death sentence from which there can be no recovery. But my memory's telling me that there's a catch even to using the Union Plume. Like, either they only get one revive per map, or they might get the effects of the Plume being used on them if they get brought back that way or something. I don't remember. And unfortunately, these enemies aren't strong enough for me to engineer a death easily. Which is funny because I remember this being harder, but it's the usual play this when you're a lot younger and you're gonna have a significantly harder time because you don't actually engage with the game mechanics properly. You just go, ooh, hit button, go charge enemy. Why is everybody dead? Because I don't think I even like really used Valley's Awakening like at all when I was playing before, outside of emergencies. But you'll notice, well, no, again, you still can't see the top screen, but we're 10 AP away from using it again. Is you do get AP back when you level, which is why it was fine to burn it right at the beginning there.
Let the games begin. Yeah.
And I think you do just get AP per turn as well, but just not a lot of it. And I think this game does have critical attacks as well, but I don't remember. And we haven't seen any yet today. You can also cut voice lines early by pressing a button. That's why their voice lines keep getting cut, is because I'm still mashing. Yeah, if you want to just spam AP items, you also probably could just, like, run around and use your tactics constantly. So as usual, there's ways around difficulty, should you choose to engage with it in that way. This guy's of course tougher than the other ones, so he actually is gonna live through this. Miss it first. Yeah, there's one particular fight that happens a bit later, which is the one I thought was happening soon, that sticks in my mind about this game because it is a bad situation across the board.
Not bad if I do say so myself.
Like, if I remember right, it's another one of the classic, your party's pinned in the middle of a surrounding situation, and you are massively outnumbered. All with pretty hefty quality enemies, so it's not like you can just push through them. I forgot that that's what this guy's whole shtick was, is he's a wizard assassin. And you might wonder
In
why
my father's name.
I remember that, now that he's said just one line. Oh, there's a reason for it.
Be no more.
And you can probably guess what that reason is based on the fact that out of all of the enemies we've been fighting, he's the only one with a name. You can kind of put two and two together on that one pretty easily. On top of the fact that he's significantly stronger than all the other
Don't make
ones.
this difficult.
And I might actually miscalculate it here. Oh, wait. Oh no, she got the gem, not Will. 'Cause I forgot it's whoever's attacking at the time when the gem falls out. Thankfully, he can only Firestorm once, so I think we're still okay. If he could Firestorm twice, we'd be in trouble right now. No, but he's gonna choose to heal anyway. Okay, that's fine. Two can play that game. Actually, you know what? I have a more fun idea. Oh, even though I have the AP for it, you literally can't use it twice. Okay. Actually, you know what? I have a different fun idea. Oh no, she's still a guest character, so I can't do anything fun. That's what the game is telling me right now. No fun allowed. Which makes me sad. Oh, fine. Anything you can do, I can do too.
Let's get this over with. Dead in my sight.
I have you.
There we go. There went all that health he got back.
Firestorm.
Next turn he dies, because I won't need to heal, so I'll be able to hit him twice, and that'll be the end of that.
Heal.
Good for you, you're running away. Here's the problem there, buddy. You left your back exposed. Oh, but she can't reach him now. For some reason. Huh. I disagree with that, but you know what? Fair enough. He at least is stunned and is not going to get the counter. So it's going to take slightly longer to kill him. Yeah, I think he just like walked out of the cone she had for shots.
Oh, don't make this difficult.
It's a little late on that one. He's already made this difficult. Stun him out of countering again. I think his health's high enough that he'll actually attack this time instead of healing, though. If we can both get double attacks on it, this will be over. And yeah, he is attacking, so this is over either way.
See an assassin.
Yes, yes, to see an assassin is to see your life's end.
Firestorm.
You know, you would think as a magic assassin you'd have more tricks than just Firestorm. But honestly, knowing one spell is kind of relatable, especially when it's I know Fireball and Fireball. I suppose he does technically know two spells. He knows how to Fireball and how to heal himself, which is important. You'll notice he's not dead. He's got just a touch of health left.
Firestorm.
Which is about to be a real shame for him because he's about to get overkilled.
Let's get this over with.
And I think that actually generates enough Sin for us to get a requirement too. So it all worked out perfectly.
Father.
And he was worth a lot of experience. Yep, Sin wrought 183. 3 Union Plumes and 2 Elixirs. Nowhere near as good as the last one because we didn't exceed the meter by as much. But you notice, even though we overkilled him, he didn't die. But I'll let this... Yeah, I wanted to get that sentence to appear before the time ran out. They're related, which is how Loxwell comes to join the team. And that's why I remembered his voice line, because he joins the team right after this sequence. But we're at 2 hours, so this game's time is up. Unfortunately. Yeah, pretty much. He gets plot armored out of death, even though he was overkilled. He is very good on the team, though. He is